Good evening, Toastmaster and guest. I welcome you all to our 787th meeting of Chennai Toastmaster Club. The mission of every Toastmaster Club will be providing a supportive and positive learning experience in such a way. The members are empowered to improve their communication skills and leadership quality, hence resulting in greater personality growth and self-confidence. Before moving on to the meeting, I would like to brief upon certain rules which is to be followed. Keep your mobile phone on silent mode. Do not talk about any taboo topics such as sex, politics, and religion. Kindly sit in a silent atmosphere so that you can hear what the speaker is speaking. Kindly be on mute until if it is your turn to speak at the moment, please unmute yourself. If you have any message to be shared or conveyed, use the chat box below. With this, I hand over the control to our presiding officer, Toastmaster Abhilash. To say a few words about him, he is a chartered accountant by profession. He currently works in the finance division of a chemical manufacturing MNC. Having joined Toastmaster in 2019, he has served Vice President of Membership and Vice President of Education at our club. He is currently President of our club. He is also an Assistant Manager as part of District Finance team and is the Mentor Poll Coordinator of Division C. With this, I control to hand over the Toastmaster Abhilash.
Thank you so much, Rajan Ram's Toastmaster Satyaraj, for those warm words of introduction. A very warm good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. It is my pleasure to declare open meeting number 787. Now, before we move on, I'd like to recognize the presence of our C4 Area Director, DTM Venu Neelakantan, and our District Mentapool District Mentapool Chair, Distinguished Toastmaster Nina John. Welcome you. And now let us move on to today's meeting. Today's meeting is something which is going to be unlike our usual meetings because our education team has come up with something special planned for all of us in today's meeting. Like you, I am also eager to find out what is in store as the meeting takes us on to, the next 2 hours. But all I can guarantee you is it's going to be a fun-filled and yet very educative meeting. Now let's move on to the meeting. I'm going to be a Toastmaster of the day. So today's meeting, unlike our usual Toastmasters meeting, will not have 3 sessions. We're going to have 2 sessions, but believe me, these 2 sessions are going to be very exciting. The first session is going to be an educational session where we have 2 very eminent Toastmasters from our own club, TM Rekha and DTM Nina John, take us through the various aspects of contests, right from participating to judging on all sides. So this is what is in store. But wait, it doesn't stop there. It's going to get better. Following their very educative session, to ensure that we do not miss the points of what they have said, we'll be following it up with a live mock contest to show us all how a proper contest is done. So that is what is in store for today's meeting. Now, having said that, give me a moment, let us check. So we have one guest right now. I'm just checking. Yeah. So guest Chenny, I think Chenny is not new to us. So you could just quickly unmute yourself and give an introduction.
Hello all. So, some of you might know me. I'm Chenny Valavan from formerly from Aurum Club. And I'm here to just, see how the meeting is going on and, possibly learn one or few more things from you people. And I'm honored to be here.
Thanks, Chenny Oragan. So pleasure having you with us. And now let us dive into the meeting. But before we dive into the meeting, all right. So see, contests, online contests by protocol dictate that our cameras be switched off. But let us forget all these contests and everything for a moment. I know it's a Sunday afternoon, but request all of you to switch on your cameras. Let's have one, some happy session before we go into the seriousness of the contests. Sorry. Yeah, I think almost everyone of us have switched on our cameras. So now it's going to be an open question for everyone here. Members, everyone alike. Okay, so when I say the word contest, what comes to your mind? Feel free to unmute and answer, any one of you.
Awards.
Awards. Okay. Awards. Anyone else?
Participation.
See,
Participation.
yeah, for me, it is something beyond that. For me, it is like forcing yourself to perform better than what you normally do. So it's
Forcing
like,
yourself to perform
yeah,
better.
it's like, pushing yourself to a next level by bringing about your best of your performance.
This particular answer, so before we move, this particular answer takes me to one article which I read in a one Toastmaster magazine issue, where that Toastmaster opens up. For him, he says the exact same thing. For him, contests are all about bringing out the best in him and making him perform with a competitive feel. So I was reminded of that answer when you said this. So anyone else? Contests. I'm looking for a couple more answers. Awards, participation, performing better. Yes, Jimmy.
Not discounting the competition, so that
Not discounting the
competitiveness. Yes, so that's also a good experience.
So we can translate competitiveness into saying we should give the judges a tough time deciding.
Absolutely.
Yeah, ma'am, that's something to watch out for in your session. We'll go there. Anyone else?
It's time to showcase what you learned.
Showcase what you learn. So many things. Yes, so contests are all of these, participation, a spirit of competitiveness, performing your best, showcasing what you have learned till now. And of course, awards at the end are important. But yes, participation in it itself is something, So in that spirit, all of you, welcome to today's session. We're going to have a mock contest. The aim of this mock contest is to ensure that many of our members participate in the upcoming contest season. Having said that, let me take you all through a brief. See, the main picture is going to come from our experts, but let me just briefly tell you. There are 5 types of contests that Toastmasters International conducts. So anyone, can you again unmute yourself and say what are the types of contests that we have? Come on.
I know 3. International speech.
You tell whatever you know. Yeah, come on.
International speech competition, humorous speech competition, and table topics competition.
All right. So there are 2 more authorized by TMI. Come on.
Evaluation contest.
Evaluation contest and then tall tales.
Absolutely. So these 5, so humorous, evaluation, ISC, TT, and tall tales are the 5 authorized contests by Toastmasters International. And any district can have up to 4 competitions, with the international speech contest being mandatory. So our district, what does our district have? But that is an answer which you're going to wait to find out, because I'm not going to reveal that. It is going to be revealed by our first educational speaker. And so in that note, today, let us get on to the first educational session, where we are going to learn all about contest management, participation, and everything else. So to educate us on these particular aspects, we have a very veteran Toastmaster, Toastmaster Rekha. So Toastmaster Rekha, to say a few words about her, she is an entrepreneur by profession. She was earlier working in a service MNC, but now she has her own startup called Kalpataru Consulting. She's a former president of Chennai Toastmasters, and she's also a certified project management professional who has trained scores of people to achieve their own PMP. So with these words of introduction, over to you, Toastmaster Rekha. Let's hear from you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Abhilash. Let me share my slide. Yeah, are you able to see a bright screen on your screen, bright color on your screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so thank you very much. contest, like I think like Toastmaster Abhilash has started the meeting in a very right mode to ask you what is reminder of contest. That is how I thought of starting my own education session. Anyway, like I will continue from where Abhilash has left, Toastmaster Abhilash. So contest, yes. In my, I am going to share the screen with DTM Nina John, where she will be covering how the contest would be conducted and the rules around it. So my area, like I would be covering what are the different types of contests which Toastmaster Abhilash has already covered, and then what are the different role players and the contest procedure at a high level. So contest, as he said, there are different types of contest: international speech contest, evaluation contest, humorous speech contest, table topic contest, and tall tales. So generally the club level contest starts ISC, and that is an international speech contest, and table topic contest are being conducted in the month of March, and then from club level it elevates to next level. We will see that. And then in the month of September we have both the humorous speech contest and evaluation contest, and then there is also tall tale contest. Apart from that, there is another contest which I have not experienced in my Toastmaster journey. Maybe Nina ma'am in her session she can give maybe a line about it, like a video recorded speech contest. So just to introduce, like there is one more contest. This is how the contest gets elevated. The winners from the club level. First, we have the contest at the club level. From the club level contest, the winners will move to the area level, and then to the division, then to the district, and then we move on to the region quarterfinals, then to the semifinals, and then the finals. So when we are speaking about finals, would anyone like to name few of the final winners from the international speech contest?
Ramana Smith.
Lovely, excellent. Anyone from our own country or state or club?
Aditya Maheshwar.
Yeah, it's a well-known name. So, and again, one more information is only the international speech contest goes beyond the district. The rest of the humorous evaluation and rest of the contest stops with district level. Right? And then I would like to discuss about the various roles. Among the various roles, the primary role is the contest chair. So contest chair, let us divide his role as pre-contest, during the contest, and post-contest. So pre-contest, first he need to understand what are the expenses and he has to budget. Basically, me being a project management professional, I would say contest itself is a project, right? He has to come out with a complete plan. So one of the things is budget. He has to understand what are the expenses and then come out with the budget, and also the venue and other infrastructure. See, now being online, the venue is not a challenge, but he has to understand how many contestants or participants will be there and how many audience would be there. Accordingly, he should have the Zoom and other infrastructure properly set up. Then he should also arrange the various role players, the chief judge, and Nina ma'am, DTM Nina John ma'am will take up the role of chief judge, and what are the other roles around these roles. And he should also, that is the contest chair should also prepare the agenda and organize the certificates and the trophies. So one point in the rule book is generally the certificates has to be downloaded from our world headquarters website, or we have to purchase the trophies from there, and otherwise we are not eligible to use the Toastmaster word and the logo, Toastmaster logo. And especially the certificates we can download, the same template can be downloaded from our own website, in the sense like Toastmaster website. So this is pre-project. And when we are talking about the contest materials, there are various materials like eligibility criteria, the time record, the tally sheets. All these formats are already available in our website. It is the responsibility of the contest chair to find out all the formats the templates, download it and make it available, and he has to distribute to the respective role players. When it comes to the judges ballot and other things, he should make it available. He should give it to the chief judge, and the chief judge's responsibility is to distribute to the rest of the role players, especially the judges, the tiebreaker judges and other role players. So as I said, the pre-contest is to start with, to start with, he has to budget, find the venue, create, set up the infrastructure, find out the role players, create the agenda, organize all the certificates and the trophies, and then verify. One important thing is the contest chair's responsibility is to check the eligibility criteria of the speaker, like whether he has met the eligibility criteria. So the speaker's eligibility criteria would be covered by DTM Nina John. So during the, he has to check just before the contest, he has to check whether the contestants are available, how to pronounce their names, and then they have to review the contest rules with the participants, the contest rule, what is the speech duration and what is the speaking area. All these things has to be clearly has to be communicated by the contest chair to the participant, and he should get the eligibility criteria form filled up well in advance, test the equipment, and in case it is a face-to-face contest, he has to arrange or the equipments and test everything. And if it is online, before even the contest starts, he has to check the mic, whether the every other equipments are working, and then they draw the speaking order and the speakers are going to speak in the same order. He should hand over all the forms to the chief judge, so the chief judge can distribute the forms to the respective participants or the role players. During the contest, the contest chair has to review the rules to the contestants and the chief judge. See, though they may be aware of the rules, it is the contest chair's duty to emphasize on the rules to the contestants and the chief judge. He should inform, in case it is happening face to face, then well in advance the contest chair would be informing the location. As it is online now, he should specify the speaking area, and now photography is not a big deal because we are doing online, but in case of in-person contest, then photography is not allowed during the contest. And as I said, the speaker, the mic and the camera has to be tested well in advance. And again, he has to inform the audience that the speeches may be from the personal experience, and hence there may be certain part of the speech which can be sensitive. And when he is introducing, see, generally the contest chair, as per the rule book, they have not mentioned anything about the contest master, but in our contest we have a contest master who is going to be the MC of the contest. So the contest master or the contest chair who is taking up this MC role should not give any introduction about the speaker, no remarks, but just to introduce the contestant name. There is a format, we will cover that, what would be the format, and it has to be done slowly and clearly so that the name of the contestants are clearly being heard by the judge. That is a very important part. And then during the contest, okay, contest chair has the can disqualify any of the contestant based on their eligibility criteria. As I said, each contestant, and especially in the international contest speech, there is certain criteria to define the contestants as eligible or not, which DTM Nina John ma'am will cover. And if the contestant is not meeting the eligibility criteria, the contest master has the authority to disqualify the contestant. And after the contest, the winner's details has to be provided to the chief judge, and he has to settle all the bills, communicate the winners to the community, and relax, because it's a really hectic job. So those who have done a contest chair, you know, like you will be running around in all directions. So this is about the contest chair roles. Now let us go to the timer role. See, before the start of the meeting or the contest, the chief judge will brief the role to the timer, and generally there should be two timers. One timer will take care of the timing device, and the other timer will use the signal device to show the time signals to the speaker. And the timer will be the sheet. The timer cannot use his own paper. There is a template called a timer record sheet, which is item 1175, which I will share it later. So that sheet has to be used to update the time record, and at the end of the contest the timer will hand over the record to the record sheet to the chief judge. So you know the timing, but let me quickly say the time duration of the speakers. It is generally 5 to 7 minutes for ISE and humorous speech, and it is for table topics it is 1 to 2 minutes, and evaluations it is 2 to 3 minutes. And at the intermediate time duration, the timer would be showing the time signal, the signal device, and it should be placed in such a way, it should be shown in such a way where the speakers are able to clearly see the signal device, but audience should not be able to see it, or else it will distract the audience, and that would again distract the speaker. Right? And how long the timer can hold the timer signal? For ISE it has to be 1 minute. For humorous, evaluation and table topics, okay, sorry, for ISE and humorous it is 1 minute. He should hold the timer signal for 1 minute, and at the end of the speech, till the speaker, after the 7 minutes, till the speaker completes, the timer has to hold on to the signal. And for evaluation and the table topic contest, the timer has to hold the signal for 30 seconds, and after the 2 minutes or 3 minutes for table topics or evaluation contest, till the speaker ends the speech, the red card would be should be shown. And there is no signal which will be provided for exceeding the time limit. And in case of visually impaired contestant, then the signal will be used which the participant choice. It can be a sound or anything which they want. If there is anything specific, then the participant should provide the signal device for the timer to use. In case there is a technical glitch for the speaker, then 30 seconds grace time is given before the participant is being considered as disqualified for his speaking eligibility, right? So this is about the timer. So generally it should be 2 timers should be there in the contest. And now coming to the tally counter, the chief judge will again brief to the tally counters. Tally counter again would be given, it is, I think it's a typo. Tally counters would be given their own sheets where they have to use the tally, use the sheet. And yeah, and then once the end of the contest, they would be collecting the ballots and they will be leaving to the counting room along with the chief judge. So this is about the tally counters. Sergeant at arms, see, there can be sergeant at arms who are going to help in the smooth transition or conducting of the contest. So one sergeant at arms, I will cover the role of the sergeant at arms they have special role with respect to the table topics and evaluation contest. But otherwise, sergeant at arms ensures that everything is smooth, and then in case of online meeting, like everyone are muted, so those administrative activities would be taken care by the sergeant at arms. So SAA is nothing but sergeant at arms. And now when it comes to evaluation contest, as the next the forthcoming contest as evaluation, let us focus on what is the So how the evaluation contest is being conducted. See, the test speaker cannot be from the same club as the contestant, evaluation contestant. He should be from a different club. That is one criteria. And the other one is in the area level, division level, and the district level of evaluation contest, the district level, district leaders cannot be test speakers, right? And the test speaker the evaluators has to restrict his evaluation to oral evaluation. And the evaluators have they cannot bring their own notes, book or paper. The contest chair would be providing them with a sheet, contest notes sheet, which is item 1177. Only that the evaluation contestant can use. And now later, so okay, how the contest happens is the test speaker will provide his speech, and after that all the contestants may be taken to a waiting room, or maybe in the same place. Everyone, the contestants will be given 5 minutes to evaluate, right? And again they can write the notes in this sheet, evaluation contest notes sheet. And after at the end of the 5 minutes, they have to hand over their notes to the sergeant at arms, and no digital device. Okay. And then these evaluation contestants will be moved to a waiting room. In case of Zoom, they will be moved to another waiting room. And as I said, the notes would be handed over to the sergeant at arms. And then only when they come back, they will be handed over their notes. In case of Zoom, you may be thinking, anyway, Zoom, we are at home, we can write. Don't worry, I have been in the table topic contestant. So there is a sergeant at arms who will always keep watching you, whether you are writing anything. So all those restrictions are there. You cannot write anything when you are in the waiting room. And in-person contest, when you come back, your notes would be returned to you. Maybe in an online, you have to keep your notes away. Once your name is being called, you may be allowed to take your notes from the nearby place. Okay. And while introducing, he has to be introduced with his name. There is no topic. So in case it is Toastmaster Rekha, the contest master would invite me as Toastmaster Rekha, Toastmaster Rekha. Okay. And right. And about the table topic contest, all contestants, same topic would be given to all contestants, and only the first speaker will be allowed in the contest room. Rest of the contestants would be moved to the waiting room, and they will be invited based on their speaking order. And again, in the waiting room, there will be a sergeant at arms who will be monitoring you. Okay, so you cannot, no digital device, no paper, no one can speak to you when you are in Zoom taking the contest from your place. And how you will be introduced: contestant name, the topic, and the contestant name. Few more things is, you as a contestant should focus on the table topic which has been mentioned. You cannot ask the person to repeat it. At the same time, the contest master should be very careful in telling the topic very clearly, slowly, not fast. The pronunciation has to be clear. If there are more than one word, you should be very slow in telling the topic. And regarding the humorous contest, you should avoid any objectable language or material. It should not be a stand-up comedy. And the contest master would be introducing the speaker as contestant name, the topic, the contestant name. Right? Mostly the ISE rules applies to humorous speech contest. Regarding the ISE speech, international speech contest, their content should not be more than 25% of any paraphrasing, quote, or reference of others' material. And the contestant before the contest should give a form, fill up the form which says that the origin of the speech. So I'll just take 1 more minute, 1 or 2 minutes maximum. And then contestant must never refer to the other contestant or his speech, right? So for example, if I and Abhilash are contesting and Abhilash was the previous contestant, I should not refer to him or his speech, right? And contestants can stay in the same room. And as I said, district level contest would be conducted in the annual district conference. How the speaker would be introduced? Contestant name, the topic, and then the contestant name. So the contest chair can appoint somebody as contest master to help him in his duties, and he is given all credit for as equivalent as the contest chair. Okay, and the contest officials can take up only one role. They cannot take multiple roles. And before the contest, contestants should be briefed on the rules, and they should be the speaking order should be drawn. Okay, and contestants should be available while, see, before the contest there will be a briefing. The contestant should be available, and if he is not available, he should arrange a proxy. And during the contest, before even the contest chair takes over and he gives an introduction of the contest, before that the contestant should be available, or else he will not be eligible. That is, the contestant will not be eligible to contest. And before the contest, the chief judge would be briefing to the contestants and the role players. So between the speeches, generally there are, when there are multiple speakers, between the speeches, 1 minute of silence would be given for the judges to mark their ballot. And generally the winners would be announced in, like, 3 winning positions would be announced if there are 3 or more participants. If less participants, then 2 winning positions would be announced. Winners should be announced at the end of the contest. And if there are multiple contests, the winners can be announced at the end of the conference. Okay, so if there are multiple contests, each of the contests should be adjourned. If there are 3 contests happening one after the other, each of the contests should be adjourned before the next contest starts. And yeah, in ISC, the contestants are going to advance to the next level. Okay, this is about the this is fine. Yeah, so we have many speech contest materials, like the rule book is available. I would request everyone to go through the rule book, whether you are going to contest or you're going to be a role player. Go through the rule book, and there are various tally sheets and timer records. Everything is available in our website, so you can go through that for your better understanding. So thank you very much. I hope this gave you an overview of the role players' responsibilities and the overview of the contest. So now I hand over back to Toastmaster Abhilash.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rekha, for enlightening us about the various procedures of a contest. So I'm sure all of us have now understood there are so many role players in a contest, right from the contest chair, contest master, chief judge, and what sergeant at arms, tally counters, and everything else. You know, so there was one thing which struck me when, Toastmaster Rekha was telling, that table topic contest, you should not write. And also I have seen a chief judge asking the contestants to hold their hands above their chest level to ensure that people don't write. So I've seen chief judges asking people to insist on these things in Zoom contests. So that is how serious it gets. And so now it is time for us to move on to the next session. The next session promises to be a very interesting session. So what are we going to learn in this session? So most of us would have definitely seen a contest. What happens? Speakers come speak. Then whatever, we have some interviews and all those, then the results are announced. So many things are there. But there is something, which goes on behind the scenes to ensure that the contest results are correct. And that is judging. Judging is something which is done very silently. Many of us don't even know what goes on behind the scenes or how this judging is done. And yet, as we go into contests, it is most important that we get to know what these criteria are. Then only we can adapt to those to ensure that our results come out well. So for this particular session, we have a distinguished Toastmaster who is a veteran of contests in D82 and D120. So she has previously served as the district chief judge as well, a past district governor, a name that needs no introduction in Toastmaster D120. So distinguished Toastmaster Nina John is going to give us a very enriching session on how contests are judged and what are the criteria used to judge contests. So now let us hand over the stage and hear from DTM Nina John.
Thank you so much, TMOD Abhilash and everybody else. Before I start, do I have screen sharing rights?
Yes, ma'am, your screen is visible.
So can you see this?
Yes, sir. We can see your desktop, ma'am.
All right. Okay. So what are we going to talk about today? We're talking about the different things that we're looking at in terms of what does a judge look at when we are having judging for the contests. Now, Rega has already covered what it is that judges will look at in terms of the different criteria for what are the different contests that we have, what are the different contests that we have, and all the different areas we have to consider when we are having the contests. Just 1 second. So we go by, yes, we go by the contest rule book. Okay, this is issued every year. It is there available on a digital download basis. And I would request all of you who are interested in contesting or any of these things, please go through this contest rule book, because it gives you the whole background of what the contests are, what do we do, how do we do it, what are all the different role players' roles, what are the different things required by every single person, and how do we do it. So the general rules for all Speechmaster contests, the first rule is in terms of eligibility. Remember that evaluation contest, humorous speech contest, table topics contest, any person who is a member of good standing, that means his subscription is current with Toastmasters International, from a club of good standing, is eligible to participate in the humorous speech, table topics, and evaluation contests. Now, what happens here is that you may have paid your fees, but if the club treasurer has not uploaded this to the Toastmasters International, you will not be allowed to contest. So make sure that you are there. Remember, judges also have what is called an eligibility checker. They can go to Toastmasters International directly and fill in the names of the person and see if that person is eligible or not. So make sure you've paid your subscriptions, not just before the contest or after. We've had people who paid their subscription after the contest and done various things. They're disqualified automatically, all right? So make sure you pay your contest. That's the first rule of contesting. Make sure your subscription is live and current, and your club is also a club in good standing. That means your club is not suspended. It does not have less than 8 members, and all the subscriptions have been uploaded to TI. So that's the first rule. International speech contest, you have to have an additional eligibility requirement of either 6 speeches from the competent communicators manual, which was the legacy program, or level 2 of at least 2 parts of the pathways program. So that's basically your communication and leadership and things like that. So if you've done at least 2 levels, then you are eligible. So those of you who have not completed that, please make sure you complete your 2 levels pathways in 2 different paths before you are eligible. So that is one part of it. The second part of it is that you must have an original speech. Now, by original is meant the fact that you have written that speech yourself. You have not cobbled together a whole lot of WhatsApp forwards, and you have not copy pasted from various WCPS speeches that you have seen on YouTube and elsewhere. So make sure you know what the rules are, and there will be a criterion of at least 25% of the speech must be, you can only use other material of less than 25%, which means if you're having a quotation, if you're having a story, if you're having something from other places, you can use only about 25% of that in your speech. Secondly, if you are using material from anywhere else, you have to give credit to that person, and you cannot say, the customer is the heart of our business, blah, 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 and it is the customer that rules our lives, not anybody else. That is, if that is a quote from Gandhiji, say Mahatma Gandhi said, the customer is the heart of our business. So ascribing quotations is very, very important. Another rule that Rekha ma'am just said, remember, in this particular year and the year before that, this rule was introduced, you cannot reference another person within the same, who is speaking at the same contest. So make sure you don't have those references. Now, that is one part of it. The other thing is, in terms of how, one thing is, I said you have to present your speech, and then the thing is in terms of how you are actually doing that. So speech contest materials, speech resources, tutorials are all available there on www.toastmasters.org. So please go through those tutorials and see what they're like. Rule changes may be made by the districts every year. I think for this year, the current rule is if your electronics device breaks down, you have 2 minutes grace to get back into the contest. So check that your chief judge has specified that, has agreed with that, and all of you are very clear about that. So make sure that that is done. In terms of the speech contest, I think Rekha has already covered them. She wanted to know what was video contest. This applies to countries or districts where they don't have enough clubs to form a district. The minimum number, I think, is 64. So they have what are called video. Earlier, it used to be audio taped contests, and now they are video contests with all the same criteria, but they are sent directly to international. So don't worry about that. Don't worry about the tall tales contest. These are not things that we have in District 120. Other language contests may be conducted up to district level, but not any further than that. So as I said, you have to be a paid member of a club in good standing. If you are a member of more than one club, you can participate at the club level in any number of contests. But you can apply, if you have one at that level, you can go to the area only from and represent only one club. So now what is happening is people were like, oh no, District 120 is here, and District 41 is somewhere else. So you're members of both clubs. One may be in Bangalore, one may be in Chennai. No, that doesn't matter. You may be in one club may be in Dubai or USA or whatever. You can win at the club level, but you cannot represent the area for more than one area. So that is also something that you have to be clear about. This is what we're doing today, is just a general introduction to judging. So please attend the TLI judging contest, training contest, because that is where you'll get all the detailed information. Who are the people who can contest? Who are the people who cannot contest? So now, because of all this pandemic, what happened earlier was that district level people would be sent on to regional finals, and regional final winners would go on to the international finals. Now, the district level contest is videotaped, judged by people across the thing and then carried on. So that's a totally different sequence that you have. The rest of the procedure, I think, as far as the contest is concerned, Rekha has covered all of that. What I will go on to is explaining how one thing I will do over here, or two things that you might like to, one is the use of props and devices. Remember, you can use props of any kind during your contest. You can even have another human being as a prop, but no words from, if it's a video sequence, you cannot have any words there. If it's music, you cannot have words there. If it's a human being that you're using as a prop there, that person cannot speak. So that is done. Usually, if it was a physical contest, you have that 1 minute between the different contestants to set up the stage and to clear the stage before the next contestant comes in. In case of protests, any idea why or how you can protest against a contestant in the speeches? Anybody?
If the speech is not original, I mean, it is taken from somewhere else.
How will you, so who decides that and who do you say that to?
It has to be notified to the judge, chief judge.
Anyone else? Any other guesses? Okay, it can be, there are only two people who can actually decide on the protests. That is either the contest chair or the chief judge. And you also have to remember that these will be told only when
before the results are announced.
Before the results are announced. Perfect. Thank you. Right. Now there's a third one, which is this referencing of the thing. So basically timing, eligibility. So actually, yeah, the contests will be only timing, originality and eligibility. And now they've introduced this referencing of other people. So that can also cause a disqualification. So those are the three. Remember, only other speakers can, only other speakers and judges can do the protesting. Audience cannot protest. So if you have an idea about this and you think that someone has plagiarized or copied something, you have to go explain it to the, you can send it up to the contest chair or the chief judge. They will check, they will have a meeting with all the judges in another room, plus the person against whom this charge has been made. That person is allowed to explain whether it was a plagiarizing or not. And only then will you have the contestant disqualified or qualified. All right. Now, remember, originality is a very, very subjective thing. I know people who've, there was this, Aditya's prize-winning speech about the scratch. I went for a contest in Kerala and I found somebody who had the entire speech word for word. Now that is plagiarism. But I attended a contest in Hyderabad and I had attended a contest in Chennai. Both of them were about North Indian speakers who were getting married to South Indians and couldn't manage the lungi. So how do they put the veshti? What are the things that they had? Story identical. The speech almost identical, but there were two different people with two different experiences. So that cannot go under plagiarism or lack of originality. So be careful about that. So what I will do now is I'm showing you the criteria that I use for the international speech contest. This is the ballot sheet, all right? What you have to do is the judges will write all the names of the contestants over here in the vertical columns. Okay. Then the first thing that they're looking at, now remember, speech development, effectiveness, and speech values. These carry 50 marks. So how are these divided? Speech development is how is the speech structured? Is it organized in a chronological manner? Is there logic to it? Is there?
We are unable to see the form.
Are unable to
see the actual form.
Do one of you want to try and see this? Can you show this? You saw the earlier thing, right?
I think your screen share is being chosen to show only your folder. So if you can just try sharing your screen again and choose.
Probably you just stop sharing and start sharing again, man. That will work.
Choose desktop this time, please.
Can you see it?
Yes, ma'am, we can see it now.
All right. Okay. So now can you see this? There's a session for question and answers just after this. It's already 10. Okay. So for judging, this is what we're looking at. So the contestants' names will come here, and these are the items we're looking at. So remember, the first, a full 50 marks are given on speech development, effectiveness, and speech value, which means, have you structured the material properly? Is it organized? Do you have an opening, body, conclusion? Do you have supporting material in terms of stories, anecdotes, quotations, whatever it is? What was the intent of your speech? What were you trying to convey? Are you able to do that? Reception, was the audience able to understand what you said? And speech value, how were your ideas original? Was there logic in what you're saying? All of these. So this is what the content part of it is. The next 30 are in terms of physical. The appearance, body language, speaking area, voice, and manner. Now, physical, earlier there was a very designated stage space for the physical thing. Now what we're doing is, within the camera angle, you should be visible throughout the entire speech. Body language, a lot of people feel that is for international speech thing. You must stand and give your speech, but that is actually not given in the rule book. So it's entirely up to you. Or if you have headphones and I have other constraints, don't worry about that. Deliver the speech in the way you are most comfortable. Voice, is there flexibility, volume? Is there variety in the way you speak? And are you confident of what you're saying? So this is also important. The other thing is in terms of appropriateness of language, it's only 20 marks. So remember, grammar, pronunciation, word selection are only 20, but it's a competition. So those 20 marks could make all the difference between your winning and the other person losing. So how appropriate is your language? Is it correct or whatever? A lot of questions that, one question that all contestants have is, if I have a Tamilian accent or a Maharashtrian accent or an Indian accent, will my international audience understand me? Don't worry too much about that, but be careful about the way you enunciate your words and how they're given to you. So the slower you are, the more likely people are to understand you. But please make sure you do know your language and grammar and are able to do that. Now, every single judge, this is all what is called a marking area. Every single judge will have the judge's official ballot, which has the name of the contestant, and you have to give the names of the person you think deserves first place, second place, and third place. This is very, very important. Even at the club level, remember, you should vote for the person with the best speech on that day. Don't vote for your friend. Don't vote for the handsome guy down the road. Don't vote for the pretty girl. Don't vote for something else. Vote for the best speech on that day. Mark it first, second, and third. Even in your regular club things, do not have a tie. For club, please remember, there is no such a thing as tied best speaker or tied best table topic speaker. The sergeant at arms or anyone else who is, unless he or she is a speaker, can break that tie, or anybody else can do it. The person who gets first place gets 3 points. The one who gets second is given, and then it is done. Now, this entire thing is explained at the back of the sheet and which is given. We try and have this code of ethics where you're trying to have any avoid any kind of bias and seeing how it is done. Now, what I showed you was how the judges do the judging. Is this visible?
No, ma'am, you have to stop and share again. Yes.
Okay, now the tiebreaker judge is a secret judge known only to the chief judge. This person will mark, or rather rank, all the contestants. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, and 10th. All right. And he or she will send will give the tie-breaking ballot directly to the chief judge. So the tally counters will collect the other judges' ballots, but they will not collect this particular thing. That will be sent directly to the chief judge. So when there is a tie, the chief judge will look at this one. And now, for example, if you have Rekha, Abhilash, and Geeta in 3 different places, then depending, now if tiebreaker has ranked Abhilash in first place and Rekha in the second place, then that will be taken for the final result. What I will now do is also show you Can you see this?
No, ma'am.
Humorous contest.
No, I think you have to again share.
Okay, now?
Yes, ma'am, visible.
Okay, so now you'll find in the humorous speech contest, which is coming up, you will find 55 marks are given as compared to the 50 for the ISC speech, which is speech development, effectiveness, speech value, and audience response. So audience response, does the audience laugh or not, is one of the things. Now, when we have a Zoom thing, it's very, very difficult to figure that out, but it is still there. Again, one more thing that is different from the main speech and humorous speech is the appropriateness to the speech purpose and the audience. So do you have jokes that are appropriate to the audience or not is what they are going to check. So that covers pretty much some of the things that I can cover over here. Is there anything else that you would like me to cover in this? Okay, so that is pretty much the whole thing. Remember, you have to understand your ballot sheet. If you're a contestant, you have to be a member in good standing of a club of good standing. Your speech must be original. If you have a protest against any other contestant, that must be lodged with the chief judge or the contest chair. So that's how that works. And therefore, what I will do is I'll leave the stage open for questions. Just a quick questions. Back to you, TMOD.
Thank you, ma'am. I actually have just one query, ma'am. So it is enough to finish 2 levels in a single path to be eligible for ISC.
Now that's the one, is it? Okay. It's basically 6 speeches, yeah, 2 levels.
And there is an exception. Maybe you can correct me. Like if the club has been chartered within 1 year, then there is an exception. But they have to be chartered or registered before the area level contest.
Yeah, and it's so for those who didn't understand that, if you have a brand new club, right? Those who set up that the 20 members who charter that club are eligible without this thing of 6 CC speeches or 2 levels of pathways. But now, suppose you've had this contest after the, this club has been chartered earlier and having this thing. New people have joined. Only the charter members can do that. Can have this escape clause. Right. So if new people join your charter, join the new club, but they're not members of the original charter of 20 members. The new members are not eligible for this waiving of 6 speeches on either pathways or CC. Okay. Any other questions? What we can do is let's finish the contest and leave it open for more questions. Then you'll be able to understand better.
Absolutely. So thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Nina John, for that wonderful session on contest judging. Contestants, guests, Toastmasters, are you excited? Because we are now going to move into a live relay of the contest. It is going to be an exciting session up right now. I'm as excited as each and every one of us here. So before we move into the contest, a few points to note. So we are going to be giving an opportunity to all of us Toastmasters here to, have the ballot sheet in your hands and judge. So requesting our VP Education, Toastmaster Abhirami, to share the ballot sheet in our CTM WhatsApp group so that you can take it and you can judge the contestants as they speak on the various things. It will give you an idea of how the judging works. So that's one. Having taken care of that, now it's time for us to turn our contest modes on. So a very warm good evening and welcome to CTM's mock contest for today. Gives me immense pleasure to have with us our Chief Judge, DTM Venu Neelakantan as well. Host, could you spotlight DTM Venu? All right, great. So thank you. And now, without much ado, let us move into the contest. I now hand over all controls to the contest master of the mock speech contest, Toastmaster Vignesh, to take the contest forward. Over to you, Toastmaster Vignesh.
Thanks, Toastmaster Abhilash. Good evening, everybody. I am Vignesh, your contest master for the International Speech Contest. I welcome you all to the Chennai Toastmasters Mock International Speech Contest. The purpose of the International Speech Contest is to provide the participants an opportunity to improve their speaking skills, to provide an opportunity to learn by observing the more proficient speakers who have been benefited from their Toastmasters training, and to recognize exceptional speakers. All the contestants have been briefed on the rules of the contest and have been confirmed that they are all eligible to be a contestant in this contest. To be eligible to compete in any Toastmaster speech contest, a member must be a paid member of a club in the area, division, and district in which he or she is competing. The club must also be in good standing. In addition, to be eligible to compete in international speech contest, A member must have completed at least 6 speech projects in the competent communication manual or earned certificates of completion in level 1 and 2 of any path in the Toastmasters pathway learning experience prior to the club contest. Contestants in speech contest other than the international contest do not need to meet this requirement. The following are the ineligible to compete in Toastmaster speech contest. A member serving as a voting judge or tie-breaking judge beyond the club level for a contest type in which the member is still competing or intend to compete. Incumbent international officers and directors. Region advisors or region advisor applicants. District officers whose term expire June 30. District director, program quality director, club growth director, administration manager, finance manager, public relation manager, division director, area director, international officer and director candidates, immediate past district directors, district officers or candidates campaigning for elected positions for the term beginning the upcoming July 1. Presenters of education sessions, contest chairs, contest toastmasters, chief judges, and event committee chairs for the event at which the contest will be held, including area, division, and district events, as well as the international conventions. I would like to take this opportunity to recognize contest chair Toastmaster Abhilash and chief judge DTM Venu Nilakandan. Today for this contest, we have talented speakers. Let me set this rule for the contest. I request the audience to be on mute at all times and not to use the chat feature during the progress of speakers. No flash photography or recording is allowed to required while the contestants are giving their speech. As an online contest, this contest is being recorded. Sergeant at arms note that once the contestant is on stage, no one's video should be on except the contestant. The time allotted for the speech is 5 to 7 minutes. Any contestant who speaks less than 4 minutes 30 seconds and beyond 7 minutes 30 seconds will be disqualified. Contestants need to pin the timer video during the audio and video check. I would request timer to operate the device. I read out the timing signals rules. Timer, are you ready? Green at 5th minute.
Yes.
Yellow at 6th minute.
Yes.
Red at 7th minute.
Yes.
Please note that the red signal will be up till the speaker completes his or her speech. No signal will be given to intimate the exceeding of time limit. Any disqualification with respect to time will be notified at the end of the contest, and no names will be announced for the disqualified contestant. Protest can only be raised by either contestants or judges only to Chief Judge DTM Venu Nilakandan or to contest chair TM Abhilash prior to the result declaration. Judge's decision is final. 1 minute silence will be given for judges to mark their ballot, and a 3-minute silence will be given after the last speakers for judges to tally their ballots. The contestant speaking order has been chosen. For the benefit of the judges, role players, and audience, I will now read out the speaking order of contestants. Zoom Master, can you please display contestant speaker order on the screen?
Sure.
Contestant number 1, Toastmaster Srijit Unni. Contestant number 2, Toastmaster Rohit Sesharia. Contestant number 3, Toastmaster Naveen. Chief Judge, are all the judges briefed? Shall we begin the contest?
Yes, Contestmaster, all the judges, please.
Thank you. A contestant can move around near their device during the other contestants' speaking order and practice. Sergeant at arms, Please ensure that the immediate next contestant is present in the meeting when contestant is speaking. Ladies and gentlemen, the mock international speech contest shall now begin. Toastmaster Srijit Unni, you will be on spotlight now. Please do an audio and video check and confirm that you are ready. Say a sentence or two in the mic.
Hello, is my video and audio visible? Yeah, audio is, can I hear him? Thanks. Thank you.
Contestant number 1, Toastmaster Srijit Unni. The back of the pack. The back of the pack, Toastmaster Srijit Unni.
Are leaders made or born? I always wondered. I asked myself this very same question as I saw my fellow batchmates handle their speech, their school pupil leader's speech, very tactfully. I was in awe because these were my friends and these were my fellow batchmates who I've had some wonderful frivolous times with, who were standing there with such grace and magnanimity in front of such a big crowd and as a foci of 300 different people, representing 300 different lives and 300 different stories. Things like this made me realize that leadership is not just a position, and leadership is much more than that. It is a purpose. Even if it's a trivial thing such as representing students, it is a purpose. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. It's my pleasure to meet you all in this beautiful evening. Let me take you back to my school days. I always remember being in awe with my friends, the way that they got along with everyone and how charismatically they interacted with people and how wonderfully they got things done for themselves. But there was me. I saw this, I admired all this, but at the bottom of my breath, I sighed and I said, maybe I could never be this person someday. There was some kind of a pseudo gravity which told me, listen, you're not this person. And there was nothing I could do about this. And especially growing in an atmosphere of very stellar performances, and this feeling rooted itself further down. I was always left feeling, wow, maybe someday I could be the person he is. As I started writing this speech, I wanted to explore what different people in my lives have meant to me and what they have taught me about leadership. The first person who came into my mind was my classmate. He was a very dominating person who asserted his demands and let his opinions out there. Surprisingly, he got things done very well. He had a very authoritative kind of leadership. The next person who came to my mind was my English teacher at school. She was a very lovely lady and she was extremely consultative with every single thing, every single decision that was taken in the class. People loved her and were looking forward to being in a class. But she had a very democratic style of leadership. I know one thing for sure, but that this leadership style does not work when you're trying to handle a class full of 30 different brats. The next person who came to my mind was my dad. He promised me the brand new PlayStation every single time if I surpass his academic expectation. He had a very transactional style of leadership. But when I look back at it, I don't see too much of a transaction there because my scores kept going up, but I never got my PlayStation. The last person who had the maximum impact in my life, my mother, came to my mind. She is a very successful person in her field and is very eminent too. But she never even once thrust her opinions on me or interfered with my decision making. She was always there to support me morally and help me perform better by giving me a lot of confidence. She had a very laissez-faire or very motivational leadership style. Growing up around such a melange of different leadership styles, which are black and white in their approaches, I wondered what kind of leader I was. And this same question, which struck me years back, struck me again. Are leaders born or are they made? To settle this question, I started Googling rapidly. So I started reading up about leadership in nature and how species are organized into leadership structures, into organizational structures, and how leadership was an integral, natural part of them. But in this case, leadership was involved, leaders were in fact born. I would be lying if I didn't tell you I was a little bit disappointed. As I kept reading, I came across chimps, our closest genetic relatives. I understood that even inside chimps, we had different leadership styles. A few chimps took up leadership with raw brute power, and a few made alliances and ruled in a democratic way. To my surprise, the ones which took the leadership path in an alliance, who made alliances and who took a democratic path, were more successful. They were almost they led almost 5 times more than the other ones. And this rang a bell inside me. I kept reading and I discovered the story of wolves. And wolves are one of the biggest examples of leadership and team building in nature. The leader of the wolf pack always leads from behind, while the slow and experienced person always leads in front. This started ringing bells inside me left and right. And it hit me that I have been this person all my life. I have rejoiced expertise, I have admired experience, and I've always had a love for finding the best in people and share a common path towards a common goal. I looked for a word for this kind of a leadership, and I learned I was a servant leader. I know this has a very negative ring to it, but when I read that I in fact shared this leadership style with greats of the world who've changed the socio-political system of the world, like Nelson Mandela and Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, I felt elated. When I look back at my schooling days now, I realized that my intimidation was nothing more than my ability to identify expertise. And I have in fact been a factor of motivation for the people around me and for them, an enabler for them to be the best. And here at Toastmasters too, in a club full of chartered accountants and having only balanced chemical equations in my life, I am here as a treasurer, excited to learn from all these experts. I would like to finally say that I have identified my leadership style and I am happy to be a servant leader. And my element is the back of the pack. Thank you, and back to you.
Let us give 1 minute of silence for the judges to mark their ballots. Timer, please indicate when 1 minute has elapsed.
Contest Master, the 1 minute has been done. Please unmute yourself.
You're on mute.
You are in mute.
Toastmaster Rohit Sesharia, you are spotlight now. Please do audio and video check.
Please confirm I am audible and visible.
Contestant number 2, Toastmaster Rohit Sesharia. Lol. Toastmaster Rohit Sesharia.
Are you wondering what I am doing? I'm just doing LOL, laughing out loudly. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, esteemed judges, and dear guests. Did my laughter remind you of something? It reminded me of laughter of Ravan from the famous serial Ramayana. Those of you who have watched it in Doordarshan in the 90s will understand what I am saying. But do you realize the kind of stereotyping of laughter which we have done? Only devils laugh, gods just smile. And that's what we do as adults. We rarely laugh. All we do is, as Toastmaster Abhilas highlighted, slam, smile little, and move on. But we are not born this way. Studies suggest babies and toddlers laugh 150 to 400 times in a day. I can vouch for it, as I have watched my 4-year-old kid grow. Whole day he will be giggling and laughing. But as we grow up, we become serious. And laughing out loudly starts getting considered as stupid. Isn't it similar to what Toastmaster Abhirami highlighted last month regarding breathing? We do it right as kids and forget it as we grow up. The same study highlighted that adults laugh just 5 to 10 times in a day. Ponder for a second. How many of you have laughed more than 10 times today? Laughter is the best medicine. I have heard it. You would have also heard it. It's a very famous quote. But it really is. There's a lot of research to prove it. Laughter helps in reducing stress and anxiety. How? Basically, laughter helps in reducing stress-related hormones such as cortisol and catecholamines. Also, it releases endorphins, which are the natural feel-good hormones in the body. According to a Japanese study done in 2016, laughter also helps in fighting depression. You know, depression happens when the mood control hormones are reduced in the body, such as dopamines and serotonins. And laughter was found to increase the levels of dopamine and serotonin. And that, together with endorphins, can help fight depression. So laughter, even fake laughter, can help in fighting depression. Laughter has a lot of physical health benefits also. Like, according to a study published in 2011 in the prestigious journal Proceedings of the Royal Society B, laughter helps in relaxing your muscles for up to 45 minutes and also helps in alleviating pain. It works like an analgesic. Laughter enhances the intake of oxygen-rich air and stimulates your heart, lungs, and muscles. According to an article published in the Heart magazine, laughter leads to vasodilation, which leads to increased blood supply to all the important organs in the body. And that helps in preventing the heart disease or coronary artery disease. According to another study published in the Journal of National Cancer Institute, laughter not only reduces the stress-related hormones, it also improves the immunity-related cells such as activated T cells and natural killer cells. So laughter enhances your immunity, which helps you fight diseases. So what are you waiting for? You think you need jokes to laugh? No, not really. According to a study done by an American gerontologist who studied 1,200 instances of spontaneous laughter in natural conversations, he found that only 10 to 15% of pre-laughter comments were humorous in nature. So, first thing you need to laugh is to accept laughter as the right behavioral choice. Stop thinking, how will I look like? What will that person think? Just laugh whenever you can. It may be difficult in the beginning. So you can start with a laughter exercise or laughter yoga. It's just a fake laughter, few minutes every day. But that will help you to lose inhibitions regarding laughter. Also find out what makes you laugh. What kind of comedy, what kind of jokes, what kind of movies, and try to spend more time on that content. Last and most important, surround yourself with friends and family. You are 30 times more likely to laugh with your near and dear ones than alone. Play with them, spend time with them, goof around with them. And it need not be physical. It can be on a call or even a Zoom meeting. Like right now. Choice is yours. You can laugh with me or you can be like her. Thank you.
Let us give 1 minute of silence for the judges to mark their ballots. Timer, please indicate when 1 minute has elapsed. Toastmaster Naveen, you will be on spotlight now. Please do audio and video check.
Am I visible and audible?
Contestant number 3, Toastmaster Naveen. Real versus me. Real versus me. Toastmaster Naveen.
A leader, one who shows the way, knows the way, and gives the way to all members. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests and esteemed judges. On a fine day, one man rushed himself to the office. At that time, he stopped by his son and replied by, "Father, please come home at 5 p.m. We want to go to the exhibition conducted by your team at ISRO." On that time, he know his boss can't give permission to him. So he tried to convince his child, but his child is not ready to convince. And later he accepted and went out to the office. When he entered to the office, he saw his boss is angry and shouted some other people. Then he slowly moved to the office and entered into the boss room. At that time, he asked the permission to get the child at around 5 p.m. But his boss never gives the permission. After some time, he called him and gave the permission. then he really happy and go to his place and make the schedule for the contest, and then he moved to his team and explained all the rules and regulations for the exhibition. The time moves on, and his boss saw he was still 4, 5, and 5:30. Then he went out from somewhere at that time. Then suddenly the man saw the time and think whether I forgot our child. Then he moved to the home, but when he moved to the home, he saw the door is locked. At that time, he came again to the exhibition hall. Here, his boss came with his son at the exhibition hall. The true leader will give always his hands at wherever, whoever, whenever time. So, according to the leadership styles, I think I have 3 or 4 leadership styles. After starting my career into my company, starting as a line operator, at that time I saw many members are struggling on that period because one of them doing the production as well as much as possible, one of them struggling to do their production. Then time moves on. I started as a line operator and did the job as well. Then moving to the next part, I changed to the line manager. On that time, I want to handle many members at that time. So I decided to change their mindset first to bring their good team as well as. Then I gave dedicated leadership styles and the participative leadership styles, while what I performed in my college days as a leader. So when I explained this type to them, then they decided to change their mindset and change our team as a good team in the as much as possible in the given time. At that period, many struggles happened to the next line. So we changed ourselves to help them and complete their line as well as. On that time, we saw our team is the #1 team on that production. So they moved to as much as then I got promoted as a production supervisor. On that time also want to manage now more than 50 members. So want to work more on the leadership side. So I started a meeting on the start meeting and line meetup with a meeting on before that, before moving to the lunch, sharing some ideas to overcome the struggles and move to the line. On that time, when I share my leadership styles to them, like a participative, they are coming with their new ideas to participate on that leadership style. Like participative leader, we want to give the chance to line members to enhance their ideas, and then only we will successfully move to the next. Being a transactional leader or democratic or participative or autocratic, if we think, then we will do it better. If we want to think as much as we are the leader, then we will definitely be the leader. Think this quote on any way. If you fail, never give up. Fail means fail in attempt of learning. If you go with N is not N. N means effort never dies. Remember, if you get no as an answer, then no means next opportunity. So, as of now, quality control here on that company, within 6 months, I got 4 promotions in my company. This shows my leadership styles on that company. Then only I got being a democratic or participative or delegative leadership styles. As much as I know I have these leadership styles. Anyone who converts the challenge into an opportunity through innovation creates wealth. He or she indeed is a leader. Are you contest master? Over to you, contest master.
Let us give 3 minutes of silence for the judges to mark their ballots. Timer, please indicate when 3 minutes has elapsed. Audience, please remain silent until the judges have completed their ballots and the tally counters and judges are moved to the breakout room with the ballots. Fellow Toastmasters, thank you for your patience. Now I like to call upon the contest chair, Toastmaster Abhilash, to take the control forward.
Thank you, Contest Master, Toastmaster Vignesh. So perhaps it is here that we are going to diverge a little from our original contest. Since it's a mock contest, we are going to have a little session where our chief judge is going to explain to us what is actually happening behind the scenes. He is going to explain to us how the votes are counted. So to have this, let us have distinguished Toastmaster Venu Neelakantan on screen.
Good evening, Abhilash, and good evening, everybody. I think we need one more minute because we just received the result from the test.
Sure. Distinguished Toastmaster Venu, please
have an interview if you want.
Right.
Contest master, if you want, you can interview the contestant.
Yeah, sure, TTM Venu. Contestant number 1, Toastmaster Srijit Unni, can you? Yeah. Hi, Toastmaster Srijit Unni. So, tell us about your learnings from the Toastmasters. So, how do you tell in one sentence about Toastmaster?
It's a place where we find new boundaries for ourselves. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, thank you. Then when did you actually join, and which motives you to join Toastmasters?
I've seen some wonderful speeches by the past international winners. I've always aspired to be a public speaker, which I never started. So I took a shot in joining CTM, and I'm here.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you. Thank you for your response. And can I call a second contestant, Toastmaster Rohit?
Hi, Contestmaster.
Hi, Toastmaster Rohit. So can we let us know about which motives you to join Toastmasters, particularly in CTM, and tell that about us.
Sure. So basically, when I tried and evaluated my career journey, I realized that one skill which has held me back has been my communication skills. Like when I compared myself to my peers, my batchmates and all, I believe that I've got opportunities multiple times which slipped away because of my communication skills. And I keep dilly-dallying, not really working on it. So finally, someone pushed me that it's still not too late. Still a lot of career is left. So it makes sense to still work on it. So finally, I pushed myself and joined Toastmasters.
Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster Rohit. So most of us are all in the same side as you mentioned. Can I call Toastmaster? Thanks, Rohit.
Thank you.
Can I call Toastmaster Naveen? Spotlight on the stage. Hi, Toastmaster Naveen. So when did you join Toastmasters, particularly in CTM? So what do you learn in CTM specifically?
Yeah, I joined CTM in 2019. Yeah, after these 2 years rolls on, and whenever I came to the CTM on the first meeting, I never forgot the TT speeches, and selected me to participate as a TT speaker participant, and got interacted with many members on the period here, and I can't count the words because there are many more members on that time interacted with me to join CTM, and I have learned many from you all, and especially many members I have learned many, and now want to learn many more things from you all. Thank you.
Thanks, Toastmaster Naveen. So as you said, table topics is the one you liked, right? So
Yeah.
okay. So so apart from table topic, which particular portion you liked in the Toastmasters? So we have prepared speech, evaluation, and other rules, right? Grammarian or counter. So all of the roles, which you like most?
I like all the roles, especially if you want to select one, then other roles. So if I want to select, then I will select all the roles. I'm interested in doing all the roles, so I couldn't even choose if the speech is important. Then for the speech, evaluation is also more important. So all roles are combined together to move. So all the roles are important to me.
Yeah, that's a good, wonderful, Naveen. I also like a TT speech, TT, not as a TT speaker, but a TT master. So in impromptu, I get shiver. So I also prefer a TT master. Yeah. Contestant.
Thank you, Contest Master. Chief Judge, are we ready to go?
Yes, I think we are ready. So now, good evening once again to all of you, and I hope you all enjoyed the contest. Now it's time to announce the result. Before announcing the result, let us get know about a little bit about how we are doing the tally counting, and because usually we never disclose this information to contestant or to the audience. It's a mock contest. We are going to share the background behind the screen what we do for counting the vote. So for that, now I request Toastmaster, the tally counter Toastmasters, Lakshmi Satyanarayana to share the tally counting sheet. I hope it's right.
Thank you, Chief Judge Toastmaster Venu. So I got this results from each of the judge. I just put it in the tally sheets. I'm just going to share the sheet. Do you want to share the name or just first the sheet first?
So the sheet itself, so that I can explain.
Okay, got it. Just give me a moment. So this is the tally sheet which I've entered.
Thank you, Lakshmi Narayana, Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayana. I hope everyone can see that. This is the way we are displaying the counting the vote. See, this is the three. Today we have only 3 contestants. Usually we may have more than 10, sometimes 13. So we have only 3 contestants, and we have 3 judges. Usually we have 5+ judges. For club level, it's around 5 judges. So only we have 3 judges. And for the first contestant, Srijit, they have 2. That means that for the all the judges, they will vote and they will share their result. They just simply they are not going to share everything what CTM Nina or Rekha shared with us about all the criteria. They are going to simply sharing that rank, who is first, who is second, who is third. So the first will get the 3 points here. So whoever getting the first, they will get the 3 points. And second, they will get the 2 points. And third will get 1 point. So altogether, we are going to add their sum together. In that case, who is getting the highest mark, they will be the first, and second highest will get the second, and the third one will get the third prize. Here, for all the contestants, the judges ranking are same. So here another problem we may face here is sometimes the contestant among the contestants 2 may come the second place. For example, here it's a 6, 9, so we don't have any issue here. Sometimes contestant number 1 and contestant number 2 may have the same total. So at that time we need to have a tiebreaker judge. So based on we have today, we have tiebreaker also. Then as per the tiebreakers voting, at that time we will decide based on the tiebreakers mark on the contestants judges. So here today we got around 3. So first judges 1 for the first contestant. He has around 2. That means second. And for the second contestant, it's the third. That means the first. And for the third contestant, 1. He marked 1. That means it came. And the second judge also did the same, and third judge also did the same. So now, even though you are aware of the result, this is the way we are doing the tally counting. So now I request the conductor to announce the result. This is the way we are doing the tally counting. I hope you got the idea. If you have any doubt on this, you can ask now. So result is here, but I request the conductor to announce the result.
All right. So thank you, Chief Judge. So towards the end, what we do is we will be announcing the result. So just a small intro on, give me 1 minute.
Shall I stop sharing?
Yes, thank you. Yeah. So towards the end of the thing, what happens is We ensure that the chief judge and in case of a club contest, the area director, or in case of a area contest, area director and division director. And in case of a division contest, the division director and the district trio are all invited on stage, or here acknowledged, their presence is acknowledged. The chief judge, the area director, the contest chair, and any other dignitaries, together with them, the results are announced. So now moving on to the results, before I announce again, the protocol is we generally start from the third winner and move on. 3, 2, 1 is the order in which we always announce the results. So in that spirit, let us go ahead. In third place today, we have Toastmaster Naveen Raj. In second place of today's mock speech contest, we have Toastmaster Srijit Unni. And in first place today, we have Toastmaster Rohit Seksaria, who's the winner of the mock contest today. Congratulations, Toastmaster Rohit Seksaria. And with this, we would like to, so there is no time disqualifications in today's contest. And with this, I would like to treat the contest as adjourned. So this is how a mock contest is run for all our members. So I think this was an excellent mock contest, in the way so the contest chair started handing over control to the contest master. The contest master reads out all the rules. So there's a big list of rules which has to be read, protocol dictates. And after that, the chief judge confirms that all judges have been briefed. And then the contest master reads out the contestant names to ensure that the judges are there, to ensure that the judges capture the names correctly. And then moving to the contest, we have the contest master announcing the names of the contestants and title, nothing else. Please note, unlike our normal meetings, we don't introduce the contestant using what are all their so-and-sos. It's just the name and the title in name, title, name format. Then the contest goes on. And then in the end, after the judges mark their ballots, the ballots are just sent to the tally counter, who tallies them and sends them to the chief judge. The chief judge then tells the results to the contestant, and the contestant announces the results. So this is how this is how an actual contest is conducted. Hope all of us have had an excellent session knowing how and how the behind the scenes contest works. So Toastmaster Rekha had explained to us how a contester has to manage the entire contest. DTM Nina has told us how judging happens in the sheets and the tally counters, and DTM Venu as our chief judge for today has shown us in practicality how the tally counters work to ensure that the results are delivered on time. So this is how contest missionary works. There are so many role players contributing to the success of every contest, right from the chief judge, the contest chair, the contest master, the timer plays a very important role. The sergeant at arms plays a very important role. So together, it's always a team that delivers a first-class contest. In each of these roles, all of us, learn various leadership qualities as well, how to lead a team, how to be punctual, so many things. So that is why people encourage everyone to take up contest roles as well. So I just wanted to tell this because the contest season is as well coming up, and you will get to know so many good things when you take up roles. And so with that, let us now move on to the final session of today's meeting. So this is going to be the closing session. We have one guest with us, guest Nivesh. Nivesh, could you please?
Yeah, Abhilesh, one second. Any questions and answers from the audience?
All right. Yeah. Thank you, Nina ma'am. So now we would like to take questions and answer questions from the audience, and our educational speakers are right here to announce, to clarify any questions that you might have.
How many of you are attempting to compete in the humorous contest and the evaluation contest? Only 1, 2, 3.5, 4. Okay. All right. That is for humorous speech or evaluation? Haven't decided. Go for it. It's much more fun. It's when more people contest. And don't worry about winning. Just worry about participating. That's all that's required. Yeah. So did you get the difference between the humorous speech ballots and the international speech ballots?
Yes.
Right. Audience reaction is improved. Is a little more emphasis on that. But so the problem now we have is with Zoom. So make sure that as an audience, please indicate your reactions when you find a joke, so that you know, the speaker is encouraged and people know that somebody laughed. Otherwise, the judges also don't know how to judge audience reaction. All right. So if you have your cameras on, that's the best. But if you don't, at least please put your reactions for something, so that the people know. Even for the other ISC speech, if someone does a particularly good point, at least indicate like this. Okay, because there's no other way the audience can react. And unless the audience reacts, you don't have a speaker feeling happy.
We don't see Nina ma'am, we see only Abhilash here. He's spotlighted.
Is it?
I can see the full thing.
I know, that's better.
See the full gallery thing, yeah. Okay, but there's nothing much to see in my face that's not already been covered. So it's okay. Put reaction, don't laugh. Yeah. All right. So
But we are supposed to, but are we not supposed to keep our videos off during the contest?
Yeah.
I happened to attend one contest.
Guideline that has been given because it's supposed to reduce the bandwidth and all that. If the chief judge allows you to put the cameras, fine. If he doesn't, give the reactions. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at least we know there's somebody behind those black windows.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. All right. Any questions? Please feel free to ask. Please download the contest rule book. Please go through the tutorials that are there and understand the process.
Ma'am, I have a doubt. Yeah. Is this a new rule where the speaker is not supposed to mention the other contestant, the speaker can, or
Yes.
about the, is it a new rule?
I don't know why it started. I heard that somebody made a very bad or negative reference to another speaker in the same contest, and therefore the protest went all the way to Toastmasters. But actually, if you're having a contest, an international speech contest, and you're able to make a reference to what the earlier speaker said, which means you're actually going off your script and, you know, picking up something that actually shows your flexibility. If you're able to incorporate something new in your speech rather than deliver the whole thing like, you know, as if you're having an oral exam for your French oral exam, you know, you by heart one whole thing and just give the answer. But international speech, you have a little flexibility. So it's actually a good sign. But I don't know why they stopped it.
Because I remember when in a contest where Manoj Vasudevan and Aditya Maheshwaran was there. So Aditya was referring to Neha, a character. Then when Manoj Vasudevan came in, he said like, I don't have a girlfriend like Neha. So he was referring to his. So when I read this, I did not notice whether it's a new rule. I was thinking, oh, he should be disqualified. That was
but then see, this is the judge's dilemma. He did not actually reference Aditya. He just referenced a character.
Right.
So can he be disqualified? So this is what judges have to go into a huddle. I have twice been in a judge's district level. In case someone had a protest, they said this speech from there. We went into another room. Somebody played the YouTube video, which they said this is what is, you know, this guy has copied from this speech.
Okay.
And then all the judges had a discussion, and then they came to the conclusion that it wasn't a conscious plagiarism. It was just his own idea. So we did not disqualify the contestant. But yeah, judges have to be careful about. Sorry, Rekha.
No, I was saying because there are philosophies and general things which is common with like anyone can think of such a concept.
Exactly. And the other thing, remember, if, you know, Avinash said the winners are announced 3-2-1. Sometimes they make a mistake. So either the tally counters or the timers can protest and tell the chief judge usually stands by the contest master's side to ensure that they're announcing properly. Tally counters or timers can do that. So if you have a physical contest and you're a role player, don't go home before the results are announced.
Right.
Okay, make sure you stay till the end and the results are announced. Yes, any other questions or whatever?
One question from us.
Yes.
Ma'am, Rekha ma'am said evaluation sheet will be given for evaluation contestant. So in online mode, will be follow or?
You can download that sheet. See, there is, if you go to judges thing, there is a speech kit for international speeches, evaluation contest, all of these. There is a speech, there is one sheet. Now today, I think Abhilash kind of circulated all the ballot sheets for you, right? In the same way, the evaluation contest sheet will be downloaded and shared with the contestants. So, which is, you know, just one of those rules that just came up. It makes absolutely no sense to download a
But to elaborate on this, so past online contest, evaluation contest, you know, it's okay if you just have a blank piece of paper and a pen and you write and there is nothing else on your desk, chief judge allows it.
Okay.
The thing is, you write it, see, some of these are from the older physical things. So when you're going back onto the stage, the sergeant at arms can give you that sheet of paper. The number of times I've been sergeant at arms and the contestant just he says, keep the paper, you know, I'm like, okay, thank you so much. Because if you have the speech in your head, you don't really need that paper again. So whatever points you have for the evaluation. So that's how it is. Any other questions, or I think it's time, 6 o'clock. Abhilash is waiting to finish.
Yes, thank you, Neena ma'am. And so let's now quickly move to the closing session of today's meeting. So we have one guest with us, guest Nivesh. Nivesh, so could you just share us some feedback on how the meeting went today?
Yes, thank you so much, Abhilash. Yeah, today I just got like a glimpse of what's happening with Toastmasters. I was just inquiring about it with a friend, and they mentioned about this program, and it was a little interesting to see how everything is very structured, and you know there's it's a process to follow and kind of tedious. So I'm just getting used to it. But yeah, it was a good experience to see all the contestants give their best and get their feedback as well. So thank you. And
thank you, Nivesh. Pleasure having you with us. Please do come.
Yes.
For more meetings. Thank you. And we have one guest called AK. So AK, could you tell us on how the meeting went? All right. I think AK is not here temporarily. So that is fine. So this brings us to the end of today's meeting. And on that happy note, I would like to adjourn meeting number. I would like to, before we adjourn, so we have Toastmaster Rohit, who has completed his level 1 in presentation mastery today. Please give a huge round of applause to Toastmaster Rohit for having achieved this milestone. Congratulations, Toastmaster Rohit. And on that happy note, I would like to adjourn meeting number 787 to next week, Sunday, same time, 4 to 6. Now, if we could just please stay on, we'll be having our business meeting. Zoom Master, request you to please remove our guests alone so that we can have our business meeting.
Sure. Business meeting is recordable or?
Not required.